Hello, Las Vegas, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Golf at the Park, Angel Park Golf Club's weekly interview show. I want to thank you so much for liking these videos, commenting, just watching them. We really appreciate it. And on that note, we're going to dive right in and introduce you to Gage Lujan.
How you doing, man?
Gage, it's good to finally have you on. Funny thing about Gage, he is the first guest, the first talent on Golf at the Park who asked to be on the show. It was a flattering and neat thing 6 months ago or whenever it was.
Yeah, well, I love the community, and it's like I'm not the best golfer. I'm not the leader of any group, but I have a lot to say as like the person who's a part of everything and has watched it grow. And so I was like, I love the show. I love golf. I love you.
Yeah.
So why not?
It's all love, and it's so fun. We're going to start right at the top, man. How old were you when you got introduced to golf? Who introduced you to golf?
So I was about 11 or 12. My papa, my grandfather, one summer was like, I'm going to get you golf lessons. I was like, okay. I played every other sport my whole life, and he signed me up here at Angel Park when they had the trailer off at the end of the driving range.
So when you were 11, you were coming out here?
Yep.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I spent the whole summer out here just practicing, training, and learning. Basically, we would go on the Cloud 9. You know, that would be like our reward at the end of the week. And played a whole summer then, and then you turn 13 and 14, and your friends aren't golfing. You don't golf, and it just gets away from you.
Got away from
Yeah,
you.
you play.
But are you a native? Are you born and raised?
Born and raised.
So where'd you go to school? Let's do some of that because I love the born and raised.
Yeah,
ones.
so high school was Arborview out in the Northwest.
Way out there. In fact, when you
Go
went
Aggies.
there, it was the furthest thing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've lived on that side of town since I was 5, 6 years old, so 2001. And it was, the freeway was one lane both ways. You know, dirt roads if you were trying to get to, like, where Arborview is now.
Yeah.
We'd ride quads and our bikes in the dirt, and it's just cool to see where it is now.
Were you athletic in high school and other sports?
So the only thing about me until I was a realtor was that all I was athletic. All I did was play sports. I just never grew past 5'6", 130 pounds.
So yeah, so that give you some limitations.
Yeah, so I grew up thinking I was going to be the next Spud Webb or Allen Iverson playing basketball. I swore I was going to be like the Wes Welker in the NFL, or at least a good punt returner. And then
I love that.
yeah, and then high school happened. I made the basketball team, didn't play, and that's when it was like, okay.
Started realizing.
Yeah, so I played volleyball, played varsity for 4 years.
You played volleyball.
Yeah, I was a libero, man. I got down on
That's
it.
awesome.
So like, I'm not great at any sport, but like I'm good enough to play. You know, like
I think
I'll
those
get
are the
picked
best
up, right?
athletes. Yeah,
So-
you're well-rounded enough. We used to do a 5-sport challenge out here at Angel Park, the guys in the cart barn in the 90s, where we'd get tournaments, but you had to play each other in 5 sports to come up with the winner, and whoever won the first to 3 wins.
Oh, I'm in it.
It was so
in
fun
it.
because, you know, you'd play golf, then you'd play basketball, then you'd go bowling, you know, something silly like that. Yeah, it was good times. So what happens after high school?
So high school, go to college for about 2 months, realize it's not for me.
At least you figured it out early.
I was a great student, graduated high school with honors, and I just thought that I could skate through college like I did high school. And
Me too.
It's like you didn't have to apply yourself, or I didn't in high school essentially, but college, you know, you get to the first midterm and you're like, I don't know anything.
Right.
Like I actually had to read. I couldn't just like kind of spark note, figure it out the night before. And I was paying for it all on my own, working, and so it was just like, I'm not living off $40 a week in gas and a Subway sandwich, you know?
Right.
So I got out.
Do you get right into real estate?
No, so I went into the restaurant industry because it was just quicker money. I mean, I feel like a lot of us do that here.
In Vegas.
Yeah, so, you know, you can make $1,500 a week at 18, 19 years old. Like, that's not terrible money.
Yep.
And then that's also how I met my fiance was through the restaurant industry.
Yeah, let's talk about Molly. I know you're a family man. Let's talk about Molly and your baby.
Well, they're amazing. Molly's the first woman to change my life and get me on the right track, because the restaurant industry can be nasty with just the hours, the extracurricular activities that get involved, and the crowds you're around. And then I had met Molly, fell in love with her. So then my uncle randomly was like, "Hey, I can get you a job at Hearthstone." And I was like, "Done." I was like, "That's where she works.
Oh, I love that
I'm
place.
gonna meet her."
Oh, even better.
So yeah, it was a very methodical plot
You had a
to
plan.
meet her, you know? So did that, and then stayed there for about a year, then worked at a call center, which I never knew those paid well, but they did. And
you already strike me as we're the type of guys who are good on the phone.
oh yeah,
Yeah, we can do that.
100%. Like, it was easy. I worked my way up to supervisor, but after 2.5 years doing it, it's just draining sitting in an office. Like,
Mind-numbing.
yes, same conversation, same phone calls, same punchlines, same one-liners, and you just like become a robot, and you go home and you don't want to do anything.
That's right.
And so I had an opportunity to take a job with a home builder here in town, because I knew after I had bought my house that it was something that like I really loved. Like, it was the first information that I had learned since high school where it just stuck, you know? And so got into doing that, just sales associate. Can I cuss on here?
You're not supposed to, but
Okay.
I edit it if you
So
do.
I was basically like the office.
Go ahead and say it.
I was the office bitch, right?
it.
Okay. So I would order toilet paper, Keurig cups, paper towels, paper, and deliver them to all the sales sites. I had a gas card, so it offset the pay I didn't make, but I knew I wanted to be in the industry. And so, I did grunt work there, worked my way up, helped with permits and, more important things on the build side. And then I knew that they were getting purchased by Pulte Homes, so I was like, okay, it's time to get licensed. So I got licensed in October of 2019, before the craze of 2020 happened, like just in time, and never looked back.
Well, I'm excited to talk about the content that you do for your real estate. It's amazing. But let's get to that. We'll circle back to
Okay.
that. Let's get it back to golf a little bit
Yeah.
more. So when does golf come back into your life?
So I played probably 7-8 times from the time I was 13 to 21. You'd go out with your uncle, once a year. And I've always wanted to get into it, but again, I played team sports. So, like, I would go and play these sports with friends, right? Or we'd get together, we'd go. And I just didn't have friends that golfed. Well, then COVID happens. I'm 25, almost 25, 24, 25. And my cousin starts going. And I'm like, dude, I'll come golf with you. Like, I have these clubs that have just been sitting. Like, I love to golf. Like, I'll golf with you. And then next thing you know, we're golfing every weekend.
Yeah.
And it just hasn't stopped in the last 3-4 years.
That's awesome. Let's talk about let's wait again to tell content. So you've gotten bit by the bug again.
Mm-hmm.
Do you immediately go to clubs? What kind of clubs do you get? Are you a club head, or do you just have a bag that you use?
So I had like a set. What I grew up playing with was Golden Cub or Golden Bears, and I had those till I was, till I was playing in 2020.
I've hit Golden
And
Bears before.
My uncle gave me his old set of Cobras from like 2001, and I played with those for about a year and a half. And then I was like, you know what? Everyone says like the clubs are important, like they can help, and just with new technology, forgiveness, whatever. So I just bought a real easy stick set. $1,000 gets you a full 14 set of clubs. Rick Shields was raving about him online, so I was like, I'll give him a try.
He comes up a lot on this show.
Yeah, so I'm a little crazy. So I had those for 3 or 4 months. I saw progress, and I was like, okay, now I'm like really golfing.
You want to keep upgrading.
I'm serious. Like, let's get me like a real good set. So then I go real crazy. They were discounted, but I got a set of PXGs, which aren't cheap.
Nope.
My ball flight was better, the control was better, but then I realized now that like I'm actually playing, like different clubs have different feels. And played those for about 6 months, and now I'm playing the Titleist T150s and 200s. I have a T200s. I have a mix set, and now
For my money, those are the best set of irons
I
right now
love
out
them.
there.
And I got a smoking deal. Like, I got a buddy out at Paiute, gave them to me for the golf course price plus the 10% fitting discount you
that's
get.
great.
So, like, after I sold my PXGs, I spent $180 on a brand new set. So, like, I didn't go spend thousands again. Like, I was able to save some money, but I'm a total advocate for get fitted, find what's right. You know, like, you can play so long just learning with the clubs you have, but once you're taking it seriously, you're putting money into it, especially time every week, go get yourself a set of clubs.
Yeah.
You know?
And I know that you've been asking about our mats.
Yes.
For the last few months. What we do is we get new mats once or twice a year, and the old mats we give away or we sell for a discounted price. And you've been asking. So why are you asking? What's your plan?
So I have a golf simulator set up at the house. When my daughter was getting ready to be born, and I had been wanting it for years, but I'd go out and golf so much it just didn't make sense, right? But she's about to be born. I don't want to not golf, you know, and I would still be in the garage for 3 hours after she was born, but I'm home, right? So I got a whole simulator set up, and the only thing I skimped out on were the mats. And they're just too thick. You hit it fat, it takes the velocity down to the club. The launch monitor doesn't read it right. You lose distance. So I need some good mats.
You need a good mat.
And I hit great off those mats.
So
I was
awesome.
like, I need an Angel Park mat.
Well, we're going to get you one for sure. Now I think it's time to start talking about content. Let's first start with what kind of content do you consume? Golf content. Are you short form, long form? Do you watch tournaments a lot? How do you spend your time absorbing golf content?
So, well, initially it just started because you're playing golf and the algorithm just knows, right? So you run into just short instructional videos. That's how I came across Dave Fink, who I do like online lessons with, or have before, not so much anymore. That's how I came across Tropicana Golf Club.
Yep.
You know, the Random Golf Club guys, when you started ramping everything up here. And so now my whole page, you go on my feeds, it's just short form golf all day. Like, I could scroll forever if I wanted to and run into nothing else. But my favorite, now that like I'm consuming it, like when we're in season, Thursday through Sunday, golf's on my TV. My daughter sits there and watches it. Like,
so you're an addict.
6 months, she's just chilling. So yeah, it's just, I may not watch the whole thing.
No,
but
it's just on.
It's on. It's soothing. You pay attention. You see what's going on. You know, you learn the guys. Like, I could tell you the starting lineup for half the NBA and the NFL, but I didn't really know many golfers, right? So it's cool to like be involved in that. And as far as like actually watching something, Random Golf Club does a really cool like breaking series, and that's my favorite thing to watch because you see all the people you see online: Claire Hogle, Dave Fink, the guys from St. Andre Golf.
Yep.
Like, you know, these people that are all from different sides of the world of golf kind of brought together, playing golf together, and just like showing the beauty of what golf is when you're out there for 18 holes, you know? So that's content as a whole. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm eating up.
And you've eaten it up so much that you've turned into quite a creator. Little bit of golf content, but mostly your work content. So let's talk about when you decided to start doing that and how you've gone about producing, directing. I mean, because I'm guessing it's been a one-man show like most.
Yeah. So initially, I sat down. So my partner and lender, Ivan Simmental, someone put us in contact and said, you guys have to meet. Like, I think it would be great for each of you just to connect, and whatever happens, happens. So we went and sat down at Bungalow Coffee, and he was making content, and he was trying to kind of get me into doing it and also give him my business, which I don't just give anybody my business.
Right.
But, you know, I loved his content, and it's the vision I had always had for mine, just never did, because I want the right lighting, I want the right camera, I want the right editing, and I'm not going to just put out something that looks like I may have done it in an hour, you know? And so he kind of gave me the little nudge I needed to get going. I filmed with him one time, and they were great. Those were like the first batch of videos I did. And then I was like, you know what? Like, I can do this myself. And then I bought everything. I did it. I felt motivated.
So what's your setup? I'm guessing you shoot on a phone, or do you have a better camera?
No, so I have a Sony A7 III, and I switch between two lenses. I have a 14 to 25, so it's essentially like a fisheye, so I can have it close but still get all of me.
It looks so clear.
And then it's sweet, man.
I mean, your stuff is gold, and you've got a bunch of stuff. Let's talk about. You've got your own podcast. How did all those ideas start?
So really it was just from making content real estate related first and seeing how that was the first time I actually saw my business grow and then start to triple. And it's a more genuine way to have a conversation or to educate people without being a salesman, having to come to you and just be like, hey, do you want to buy a house? Right? And so that confidence of being on camera and seeing the response that I got and just the genuine types of conversations that came from it, I was like, I want to do more of this, but not just real estate related. Someone's going to see how to buy a house for $5,000. Well, I'm not ready to buy a house. Swipe, you know, and I feel like I'm a lot more and I can go deeper than that. So that's where, you know, finally putting out some golf content came from. And the podcast itself it's my podcast, and I'm GNL Sales. I sell real estate, but the real estate is what's helped me build my mindset, my work ethic, build relationships. And so the podcast, as much as I may talk about real estate, it's more about the story of the guest that's on and how they got there and what they love.
Bingo.
And that's why I love your show, is because as much as it's about golf, like, I learn so much about the guys that I see all the time online or have met.
This show is about the golfers, right? We talk about golf, but this show is about the golfers. Yeah.
It's just that story of learning, you know, the people in your community and seeing that, like, they're a person too, you know? And like, it's just so genuine and it's super cool. And like the fact that you can give somebody a platform to be comfortable and share their story, because you can sit in front of a camera and say how hard you work and where it's gotten you, right? But it comes off so like posh or just like douchey sometimes, right? But like you're sitting in front of a friend with common interest and it's genuine, you know, and it comes across so much better.
And it's engaging. I've found that, and I keep repeating this on the show a lot, our audience isn't large, but they're incredibly loyal. Our statistics are people watch the show.
The watch time.
They don't drop off near as much as they do in short form contents and stuff like that. So I think that's interesting. So you're editing everything yourself. Let's talk about that process. Let's talk about how time consuming it is.
Yeah. So, well, as of 3 or 4 months ago, I have an editor now. Just with having the baby, like, I would sit and edit, whether it's 30 seconds or a 90-second clip. I'm spending 2-3 hours per video. You know, it's like you have to color correct, you have to get the captions, and I'm a dummy and I use Final Cut Pro and not Adobe, so I'm manually entering all my captions, right?
Why? Oh, okay. I was going to say, why are you calling yourself a dummy? Because I use Final Cut, and Mike the Video Wizard has told me on multiple occasions I need to be using Adobe. I don't understand.
So
why?
When I'm doing my captions, I have to type it in, whereas Adobe or these other programs will auto AI generate your captions like CapCut does. And so, you know, I have a Mac. It's just a Mac program, so it was just easy. I didn't have to download all this stuff or pay for Adobe yearly. So that's why I got it initially. And everything's great. I love like the effects you can do with it, but as far as time goes, it's more valuable to me to shoot more content than it is to edit more content. Yeah. You know?
I've gone from iMovie to one that I forget the name of it, and then to Final Cut. And it's been interesting the growth. So I wonder if I'll ever switch to Adobe, because that sounds really cool. I find myself doing that extra step of, I don't like to do titles in Final Cut anymore. Now I only like to do them. I'll do everything in Final Cut, then I'll go back to CapCut.
That's what I do
for
now.
the finishing touch.
Yeah, if I'm making like a quick video for like play this hole with me, right? Like I'll edit and cut and do everything in CapCut not CapCut, in Final Cut, just because it's quicker. I know my keyboard shortcuts. I'm not working on this little screen. And then I'll export it, throw it into CapCut, and let it do its captions.
It's the exact same thing that I do.
Yep.
And it's funny. Everybody's so new to this, right? How long would you say you've been making content?
So 2020 is when I started, but 21 is like when I really picked it up.
Comfortable.
Yeah, and the algorithms change now. Like it's hard to get 5,000-6,000 views on something, but all I need is 900 to 3,000 views, and I can have 5-6 different conversations with somebody, and 1 or 2 of them will buy a house, right? Or will sell their house. So it's not essentially about the numbers for me. It's just having an open doorway for somebody to come in and say, hey, I'm comfortable and I want to have a conversation.
Right.
And it's changed everything,
It's so fun for me to just hear all of these stories and to watch the progression of all these things. I remember when I first had the Golf Fathers in, I was like, these guys have been doing this for years. They've got it all down so well. And they were only a year into it when I first interviewed Rocky. So it's fun that everybody's kind of learning this as we go, right? In real time.
It's just cool. Like I grew up, my parents filmed everything. Like I have videos of me
my mom too.
At 2 and 3 years old singing NSYNC in front of my family at Thanksgiving.
That's right.
Right? Like, so I have that romanticization of like what life was like. And so growing up, I've loved video. I've loved being on video, as conceited as that sounds, right? Like
I had to name myself Jed the Talent because I'm so into being on screen.
Yeah, it's just fun, right? Like at a young age, before I learned that I can't sing, I was like, I'm going to be Justin Timberlake, right? And so making content now, whether it's work-related or just who Gage is, like romanticizing life in that way is just so fun. And like, I don't care if it has 100 views or 100,000 views. That's how I want to look at my life and see things when I look back.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Jimmy Tropicana, shout out Jimmy, who's been on the show. He just did a piece. Yeah, what's going on? He just did a piece that I thought was brilliant, where he just says to everybody, hey, get your own YouTube channel. You can keep it private if you want. It's free. Go download all of your home movies and videos so your kids and your grandkids have all of those things. And that's how I convinced my father to be on this show, is I was like, don't you want your kids and your grandkids to, when they ask about you, now they've got an hour of you telling your story, right? Like, why wouldn't you want that?
Humans are meant to connect, and we are natural born storytellers. We're also the only animal, whatever you want, only being that can think of something and create it. Right? Like this golf course at one point was one man's idea.
That's right.
Right? So everything in this world at one point was one person's idea. And the storytelling or the process to create that story is what we all love and eat up, and how we can connect with someone at the end of the day, right?
Right.
So if I can do that in my business with my family, with my golf clubs and all my buddies, like, why would you not?
Yeah. Let's talk about something that isn't necessarily as fun, but is really important to the show. What are some things you don't like about golf, or that you would change about golf? Have you ever thought about things like that?
So I say this as a joke, but it sucks that as you get better, you play less golf. You play better, you pay the money, but you take less shots. That sucks.
That's an interesting way of looking at it.
But, I mean, you can't change it. That's the game. But, like, if you could get better and play more golf, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
As far as the game itself and changing, I know it was just on the last episode, and I don't want to
Well, let's
beat
talk
a dead
about
horse,
this. Are we
but,
going
like,
to talk about the gallery
the
drop?
gallery drop.
Okay, so Alex Wilson. No, let's. I was hoping that this would come up actually, because it's just days ago.
And it's blown up.
Blown up. It's at 100,000 views. It's at over 3,000 shares, and over 1,000 likes. And it's a quick clip, if you haven't seen it, where Alex explains this rule he plays with his friends, which is the gallery drop rule. If you hit a ball where you know where it should be, but you can't find it in the rough or in the desert, but it's not blown out of bounds, it's just somewhere in play.
Mm-hmm.
They call it a gallery drop rule. And if you, I've seen people comment on it, there's a big debate on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wanted it to come up, because purists are like, that's just cheating. Why would you want to do that? And then the overwhelming majority of people coming in are like, this is a genius idea. It speeds up play. It makes the game less frustrating. Mm-hmm. It's good for everyone. So I want to talk a little bit about, well, A, what side you fall on.
Yeah.
And B, what you think about the dynamics of new golf and purist golf, because that's one of the things that I'm most interested on in this show.
So I'm totally for the gallery drop, right? Like I've seen my family hit balls, and it's like it's right there, and then you get over there. There's no way I lost this ball.
Right.
Right? Like I've actually seen my cousin hit a ball into a fairway, nowhere to be found.
It's so weird.
Right? And it's like, as much as, yes, we're here to play to a tee so we know what our score is, track a handicap, get better so we know, compare it to the next time. It's like that ball's there. Like, have fun, play the game, enjoy yourself. Like, I'll be the first one to say it, and I'm not going to brag that, I shot, 15 over is a great day for me, right? But that may include I hit it. It went just across the cart path, and it's sitting in rocks. I don't play enough golf or tournaments or care to beat other people to where I'm going to hit my golf clubs that I spend thousands of dollars on out of rocks.
Right.
I did at one point, not going to do it. So I will take that ball. I will go backwards, but across into the rough, and I will hit my second shot.
I love it.
I'm here to have fun. I'm here to enjoy my game of golf with the people that I enjoy playing golf with. And I think that's like a happy medium example of I can still play and have the etiquette and respect that the purists love, but I can play my game with my friends that we love. Right.
And there's tradition, and it's important. But it's also important that not all of the traditions need to stay traditions, right? I think that as someone who has lived on both sides of the argument, I spent the first half of my life, better than the first half of my life, being a golf purist, where I would have thought the gallery drop was a horrible idea. Now that I've gotten older and I've started to meet new golf that happened since the pandemic, random golf club, they all play at the same time together. You can bring your dog. That's insane to think about happening in golf 10 years ago. It would have never happened, right? So I think that it's important that we all remember that golf's fun.
Yeah.
Have fun the way you want to have fun.
Yep.
If somebody plays a gallery drop rule, then don't get into a gambling match with them based on their handicap.
Yeah.
And otherwise, why would you care?
And why does it affect you, right?
Correct.
Unless you're putting money down on it.
Right.
The ground rules are going to be set prior. So then, probably shouldn't do a gallery drop at that point,
Of course.
right? But when I'm out playing golf, I'm not playing my friends, and I'm not even playing myself. I'm playing the course, right? I'm just beating the course. And so with that in mind, like, I don't care what you do.
Right.
Like, if you want to move it across the cart path and hit the ball and call it two, good for you.
Yeah.
Yep,
I love that. All right. Better part of the show. What are your favorite things about golf? What do you really love about golf?
So golf is the first thing I've ever done, like sports-wise, where it's just me. Everything I'm doing is just me.
It's word for word the answer Kendall Hodges. Shout out Kendall, what's up? He said it word for word.
Really?
It's all on me.
And so, I've always had to play my part or do good at what I know that I was needed for in that play, all right, or on that drive. And right now it is all me, right? The swing, the thoughts, the setup, the prep, everything is me. And that's what I love about it. And the other thing is I'm such a go, go, go type of person. And for the last year I've thought, maybe I do have ADD or ADHD. And then I saw Alex's episode, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I do. And so it's the one time where for 3 to 6 hours, where
Turn the brain off.
Everything shuts off.
Or switch focus to it. Your brain's not turned off.
Yeah, but
it's just in a more enjoyable.
For me, it's like it shuts off because I can have 5 or 6 different clients at 5 or 6 different parts of a real estate transaction, plus the baby at home, plus I need to make plans with dad and mom.
Yep.
I need to see. So all of this stuff's running all the time, plus a song in my head, like Alex said. I was like,
you have that too,
dude. No matter what is going on, there is a song that I'm singing or humming, and I realized it because as I was listening to the show, I threw in my headphones. Now I don't have to think of a song or listen to something. The focus is set for my brain.
Right.
And I literally cleaned my whole house while I was listening to that show.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so hindsight's 2020, and on the golf course, it's like I don't need a song. Like the only thing that I need is the wind, the birds, the sound of the ball, and just golf. And that is like the best part about it is just I can shut off and just do one thing, be completely present, not worry, think, or strategically plan how I'm going to take care of the next 6 things I have to do.
Would you consider yourself one of the golfers that enjoys playing alone? Like, have you ever played a round of golf by yourself, and did you enjoy it?
So I have, and I loved it. I've tried going by myself again, and they pair you up with people.
Correct.
And
it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, and I like meeting new people. I think that's what's also great is you've never met this person before. They could be the complete different side of the spectrum on opinions, perspectives, but you enjoy it because of golf.
Right.
But if I know that I have buddies, and now that I'm in Tropicana Golf Club and have completely drowned myself in this community, there's always somebody with just a good attitude who wants to golf and is can be there.
Yeah.
So I haven't played by myself in probably 2 years.
Yeah. I just remember that the couple of times in my life I played golf by myself, I did not like it. I didn't enjoy it at all. So that made me realize that the social aspect for me is really important. I have to be out there with friends and family, or otherwise I'm not. I'm just not enjoying myself, which it's interesting that there are different kinds of people that way, right?
Yeah.
I think that's it for the first segment of the show. If you
Okay.
feel good, I don't know if we haven't covered anything. And now it's the 5 questions. You want to
Okay.
play the par 5? You're aware of it.
Can I just gas you up real quick?
Yes.
So the Vegas golf community is the first community or just group of friends that I have had since high school, where everybody's friends, right? I had a good high school experience. And since then, friends move, you get out of touch with people, and you don't think you're ever going to have bonds like that again, right? Or where there's always a group of people where you want to check in on, they check in on you connect.
You feel like you've got a tight circle of friends.
And this community we have in Las Vegas is amazing. I was nervous to kind of get involved because I'm not the best golfer. You go play any other sports, it's these guys are good. You kind of feel like you don't
go play
belong.
pickup basketball.
Yeah, and you just don't belong, right? And they don't want to get to know you, they don't care. And I went to an event, and Mateo Gomez came right up to me and was basically, he didn't say this, but it was he was all right, you're my friend for the night, and we're going to get to know each other.
Magnificent Golf. This is the 3rd time you've come up on the show.
He has the greatest heart.
You've got to come on, my guy. So we'll work on that.
So he brought me under his wing at an event here in Angel Park, and we made me feel welcome, made me feel like I want to meet more people. And since then, you know, Tropicana Golf Club, Chris Torres, Chris Roble, Ron. I mean, I'm forgetting everybody's name.
No, there's
but it's
so
just
many. Yeah.
every single person. Mike the Video Wizard, him and I have gotten super close.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that piece. The back nine bullies.
Yeah.
Let's shout them out. That was a really cool piece that you guys did that morning, and I just got to tag along and watch, and it was really fun. Tell us about that and how your experience was doing that.
It was awesome. Mike
he's a genius.
The best videographer, creator, content whatever you want to call him. He is amazing because he doesn't create with his talents. He creates with his heart, and that produces talent. And everything he does, he cares so much about. And so when I originally reached out to him, I wanted to start just doing a little bit more elevated golf content. Then we decided to buy a house, and I had to put it on hold. But because of reaching out, we've had conversations just about, you know, both of our jobs, content. We both love golf, and we've spent time together. And so when he reached out to me to, like, shoot this piece with him, when essentially I met him originally as a client, but now he's just, hey, come do this with me, right? Like, as a friend. It was super cool. And, you know, I was just there, essentially. He makes me look 10 times better than I am. But it was just awesome. I mean, anytime I can get on the golf course with good people, like, I'm in.
That reminds me of a piece we did. So back in the spring, you played with Mikey Brashino,
Christian Coleman.
Christian, that's right. And my favorite thing about that entire piece, and there's a lot of good stuff in there, is it's you right off the bat, right off the first tee. You hit a great drive, and you're like, I need to be on camera all the time.
Yep.
That was so fun.
Well, the drive is like, it's the worst part of my game. It was the best when I was younger. Don't know what happened with my body and my hips and not getting it to where I needed to get. It's like as I learn how to get better at golf, my drive gets worse.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so I had just been tweaking and fixing some things like for the last month before we did that. And like I'm shaking on that tee box on camera. Like
that's interesting.
So I hit
awesome
it.
That you would admit that.
Yeah, I do not like shooting videos where I'm teeing off with my driver. Like it just doesn't happen.
That anxiety on the first tee is the worst. I had it in high school golf, and I really had it bad when we played in a pro scratch tournament here with all PGA members, all pro golfers, and I'm in the field, and I have no reason being in the field except I'm playing with my dad. And I remember on the first tee, that was the worst feeling of my life. I mean, I'm not clutch. When you talk about ice in the veins.
Especially, like, just on camera, like, with my driver, like, it could go way right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So when I hit that, I was like, all right, not mad about it.
That's fun. All right, let's play the par 5.
Yep.
Question number 1. What's your favorite golf movie?
So I thought about this a lot, this question, because I watch the show all the time. I'm not really a movie guy. I love Happy Gilmore. I love Tin Cup. But I've watched them once, never watch them again. That's just how I am with movies. I'll watch it once, unless it's The Dark Knight or Step Brothers. I don't watch it again.
The Dark Knight. I saw it 6 times in the theater.
I was probably 5 or 6 too. All of them. So what I love to watch, and I mentioned earlier, was the Random Golf Club's Breaking Series. Because it really captures just friends, people you know, people you watch, them playing golf, them talking about golf, which is always super cool to see, just people's different thought processes and swing thoughts and their reactions to things, and then them just being people.
Yeah.
And so that series is one of my favorites to watch.
And that counts as a movie. JR said Netflix Full Swing, which is they're getting ready to do season 2. JR.
I loved that.
Oh, it was so good,
well,
right?
Golf's never had anything like that. Golf is just what you put on, from Thursday to Sunday. You have the very low talking people. Nobody's talking. You watch them hit and swing. Like, the the ball flight with the TrackMan tracer is like the coolest thing to happen to golf in 20 years.
Changed the game.
Right? And so, but it's just always been the same. And so now to get like kind of a behind the scenes look of what it's actually like just for us on a regular day on the course, like that, like RGC captures that perfectly.
Yeah, for sure. Question number 2. What's your favorite golf club in your bag and why?
Okay. So I will die on this hill.
I love it.
So Lab Putters, Lie Angle Balance is what it stands for. They make their putters to where no matter what you do, you could just hold it in your hand like this and take thumbs off, the club stays straight. So there's toe hang or center balance.
There's something
they
about
all still fall. So for someone who is either new to golf or just wants their putt to stay straight and hit the line that they have,
chosen,
it's going to go that way. And the technology in these putters are better than any Scotty Cameron you'll ever play with, are better than any Ping, White Hot, whatever.
I love it. He's preaching right now.
I am telling you, the technology in golf that people preach about in their irons, the tungsten or whatever the foam they put in the TaylorMade P790s, all this new tech is great and it's changing the game, but people are still so set on their Scotty Camerons.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if people will just get a lab putter, I promise you'll never 3-putt again in your life, and you're going to hit way more 1-putts than you ever have before.
I love that. Turns it into a video game.
So my Lab Link putter, I love the blade style now. I used to be a mallet guy, but my Lab Link golf putter is the best club in my bag.
Great answer. I've reordered the questions recently, so we're gonna, what you're used to being number 3, we're gonna skip and save till the end. So question number 3 now is, what's your aiming fluid? What are you imbibing on the golf course?
So when I first started, I would have Jameson and ginger, but now that I play all the time, A, I don't want to drink that much, and B, it's more than just a time to go have a drink with the boys.
Yeah.
So I have my water in my Hydro Flask, and then everybody says Gatorade, but I'm a total ingredient freak, and I don't drink the yellow number 4, Red Lake, Blue Lake 60s,
so
whatever.
What's your option?
So there's a company called Relight where they make what Gatorade pretends or claims to be. So you have all the electrolytes in it. They have real salt in it because that's actually what hydrates you is the salt. And I take a scoop of that Relight and I throw it in another flask, and I'll just go between my lemon lime Gatorade, but it's the Relight, and my water.
And that's it.
Yep.
I love that. Question number 4, anger on the golf course.
Yeah, I'm a little guy. I get really angry. Sometimes.
How do you deal with it? Are you a club thrower? Are you a swearer? Or have you snapped clubs?
So I am my own worst critic. I beat myself up because I know how good I can be or have been before.
Do you do it internally
anything.
or externally?
It's internally. So if I hit a shot and it's bad and it's been going bad, I'm just gonna leave the tee box. I don't watch anybody swing. I put the club back and I'm sitting trying to get out of my head, but all I'm doing is getting more in my head.
Right.
I've never thrown. Well, I threw a club when I first started because I thought that was the cool, funny thing to do.
And it's embarrassing.
But I don't throw clubs anymore. I've never broken a club strictly because I don't think that I would have the force to break it over my knee or my neck. I'm a little guy. So a lot of it's just internal, and I get hot and but I try to cool myself down, and then I'll hit a good shot and it's gone. But there's some days where it's just
that's the reason why I quit taking the game seriously after high school because I just don't have the head for it. I would beat myself up so much that it just wasn't fun. It wasn't worth it. Yeah, which was a shame. Question number 5. What's your dream foursome? So I guess it's a threesome because you're playing. You know the rules, and where would you play is the bonus question.
So number 1 would be my papa. He's the one that got me into golf. He's passed now it'll be 10 years this next year. next summer. So I would love to play with him now that like I'm playing, because he was so good. Like everyone just talks about just how Robert he's just an animal out there.
How fun.
So I would love to have him. For whatever reason, I have grown to really like Sahith Thagala.
Yeah.
Just the younger dude on tour.
His episode of Full Swing was cool.
It was great. And like his content that he puts out is more like not so purist. Like it's just Sahith being him. He's young, cool kid, loves golf. So I think that would be super cool to have him. And then for the last one, I mean, to be so honest, I love golfing with my family. So I would probably have my uncle or my cousin take the other one. Like, there's a bunch of people I'd love to meet that are famous or, you know.
Yeah, I thought for sure you were going to say Justin Timberlake because he's a golfer and you've already brought him up a few times.
I even thought that I would say that, and I totally didn't even think of that. Yes, Justin Timberlake. Sorry, Uncle.
Sorry, Justin.
Yeah.
We know you tune in every week.
But yeah, I mean, golf is like, I do it with the people that are close to me, right? And I'm so mad I forgot Justin. I'm sorry, Justin. The adoption papers that are in your mailbox still from 10 years ago, please, like, don't throw them away because I forgot.
So great.
But yeah, I love golfing with my family, even my friends, like their family.
The best. Gage.
Yes, sir.
What a treat. I really enjoyed it. You have fun?
Oh, yeah. I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
You're giving our community a home, and you as a talent yourself, like, it's just cool watching you.
I really appreciate that. We're working hard. Yeah. And it's cool. It's only going to get cooler.
Yeah.
That's what I keep telling everybody.
There's no other course like Angel Park, and it's because they don't have a Jed.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's very sweet. And on that note, we will see you next week. Till then, hit them straight from your friends at Angel Park.
See you
Cheers.
guys. You're the man.
So fun. So fun.
That was great.